Happy New Year, everybody. You know, Dave's farm and those people like to take car engines and blow them up. Just rev them until they blow up. Well, I like to do the same thing, but car engines are harder to get rid of when you're all broken up and they're all in pieces. So I like to do it with electric motors. We take a power supply, like that one, and we find an electric motor we don't really care about anymore, like this discarded power supply fan from a computer, which happens to be conveniently stuck in a paper cup, so we can play with it. And for illustration purposes, we... Actually, that's from another movie we just made. Anyway, let's have fun. Notice I used alternate yellow and red tape. Now that fan's meant to go at 5 volts. And we're roughly at 5 volts. See what happens when we increase it to 10. Ooh, yeah. The airplane's really going fast now, isn't it? Ooh. How about 15? Ooh, gotta increase the current. Current limited power supply. Ooh. Oh, wire broke off. That's easy to fix. Oh, what the heck, gopher broke. 20 volts. 20 volts, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. That fan's really going like crazy. Look at that. That's a hell of a fan, folks. 1.18 amps, roughly. Wow. I smell it burning. Woo-hoo! Woo! It's like a gyroscope, man. It's hard for me to turn this sucker. Look at that sucker racing around. Blowing on my stuff. Well, that's what that fan does at 15 volts. This power supply is differential. That means we have a plus supply here and a minus supply here. And if I take this and put it over here and throw this switch from independent to tracking, I can get 50 volts on that motor. So let's go back to what we're doing here. We'll open the current up just a little wee teensy bit, and we'll turn our voltage down to nothing, and we'll see what this thing does when we put lots of voltage on it. For safety purposes, we put it back in the cup. That right there is about 10 volts. And there's 20 volts. 30 volts. Ooh, 30 volts, that's about as much as I can get. 15 here and 10 there, and that's our current. And about 0.8 amps on either side. The max I'm going to get out of this thing, I think. Go for broke! Go for broke! See if we can get it to smoke. Whoops! It's done. There you go. That's all it took. All the current. It's going to start burning. Yep, see the smoke coming up? Yep, it's done. I spoke too soon. Look what happens when we put it back together again. It works, yes. I'm going to turn the current wide open on this power supply and go for broke. Ready? Ooh, it didn't take long for that to happen. Didn't take long. Yeah. That's maxing out my power supply. Well, we've wrecked a fan. Now let's have some fun with another small electric motor. Take a look. It's a Mabuchi. Yep. Mabuchi is a Japanese company, even though it's actually made in China. But they make small electric motors for robotics. This one came out of a Denon CD player. When CD players sometimes don't read the discs, it's because this motor develops a dead spot and it won't spin unless you give it a little turn. Well, this one spins pretty good. Of course, it's meant to spin at like 5 volts. We're going to fix that. We're going to see how much it can take. Are you ready to see some smoke? YouTubers, ladies and gentlemen, people of the abusing world? Well, here we go. Hang on. Okay, tubers, to make it easier to see this spin, I've put little white marks on the top of it. And here we go. There's some power on it right now. That spins real fast. We're at about 1.5, about 3 volts right now. Up to 5 volts. It's only drawing about, ooh, not even 0.1 amps. About 50 milliamps. This guy's fast. Sounds like an electric shaver. We're up to 10 volts. Any guesses as to how fast that might be going? At least 1,000 RPM. Our current is up to, ooh, almost still about 50 millivolts. We'll do it the Dave's Farm way. Actually, electric motors don't care. "25 volts, still drawing 50 milliamps. Interesting. Wonder if it's getting hot. Not even. Alright, so we saw what it did at 25 volts. Let's see what it does at 50 volts. It comes right up to speed. Got about 10 volts on it right now. 12, 14, 16. There's 20 volts. There's 25 where we were. 30 volts. 40 volts. Looks like it's really whizzing along, ain't it? Oh yeah. Look how warm it's getting, you can see. Hope it's not getting warm at all. Ooh, what's that? Some arcing and a sparking down there, huh? What are we at? Just under 40 volts. Ooh, it's like a streetcar. There we go. Done. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you blow up a motor. Yep. Yay! Woohoo! It's never going to trouble us again.